3, 2, 1.
My name is Nick. I'm a full-time trader and entrepreneur. We put out tons of stuff for free for traders. These are real trades. This is real money. I'm putting my money on the line. This is going to be a live trading video here, locking in over $1,000 on this trade. Wow, I'd love to get in on this. Technical insights that really look good to me. Here we go. We're live. Well, hello guys, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another stream. Hope you're doing well. We got people in the chat already. Shout out to my friends Trey, Andrew, Marco, Ali, Tom, Eglin. Good to see everybody in the chat. Thank you for being here. Happy, what is today? Today's Thursday to you. Happy Thursday. So hope you guys are doing well. We got some stuff to talk about for sure. Markets continue to be a little bit of a scary place. Looking at the SPY here, you can see just right off the bat that when this thing is coming down, it's something to pay attention to, because when this thing comes down, we see a big shift in the currency market. A lot of times I mentioned that, a lot of Forex traders or currency traders, they have no interest in paying attention to stocks or other markets. Like maybe you don't trade gold, or maybe you don't trade like the US indices or things like that. But the thing that you kind of know more and more as time goes on is that all markets are in some way or another related to one another, right? So you have the stock market coming down due to the same fears that are causing the currency market to come down. And so they kind of talk to one another. So today, in the last 24 or 48 hours, we've seen the stock market here in the US under fire. We've seen a little bit of a big threat coming in due to that whole variant situation that came out of South Africa. And I believe that there was a case found already in the US, which, of course, is a reason for concern, especially when there has been a little bit of, I believe that there is like questionability about whether or not the current list of vaccines are able to combat this thing effectively. Of course, that is not something that I am, as I've said many times, I'm not qualified to speak on or give any sort of authoritative, direction on. But in terms of market reaction, I can talk about that. And I can say, okay, the market is selling off in response to the concerns around that. There's a lot of question marks. There's a lot of unknowns. And when you get unknowns in markets, the market doesn't like that. Now, how does that convert to currencies, into gold? And how can we possibly trade and make money off of that? You're right in the right place. We're here today together, my friends, to take a look at the markets. We're going to talk about some trade setups and ideas given the light of the most recent data that I have access to, as well as I'm sure many of you as well. So big shout out to all my friends here today in the chat. Hello to everyone. And yes, indeed, we do have NFP tomorrow. Hey, guys, do me a real quick favor. If this is your first time to the stream or you're just tuning in, a lot of you guys who watch the content, you're not yet subscribed. I want to encourage you, just hit that subscribe button very lightly. Just tap it like Graham Stephan. If anybody knows him, he's so good about, just lightly tap the like button. He's so funny about that. But love his content. And I just want to say this. If you're not already subscribed, make sure to subscribe, because tomorrow we've got a big stream coming up and my friend Ivan is coming on. So that's always a fun time for us to just straight up disagree on whatever it is that comes up. And then you guys get to watch us battle it out. But again, no, I'm kidding. We agreed last time, so we'll see. But tomorrow we do have NFP stream. So a couple household items to take care of. We've got NFP stream tomorrow. We're going to be talking about some stuff today in reaction to the variant that just came out. And we'll talk about a couple things that could be market impacting, and whether or not this NFP comes out as better or not is going to have an impact on the dollar. But I think that right now, truthfully, the bigger story is this variant situation, because again, a variant that is headed in the wrong direction can cause markets to be very, very fearful, and a variant that gets brushed off quickly, kind of like the Delta variant, can be quickly reversed in markets. So we'll see. I was like number 40. Well, thank you, Ivan. Comment what like number you guys are. Thank you so much for that support. Bro, fix your clock. What do you mean? It's 10:30 in the US right now. I'm kidding. No, it is actually completely wrong. I don't know how it got so bad. That's I am from Georgia, and that is just absolutely wrong. But truthfully, I don't know how to fix it. So it might just have to be awful for a little while. We're actually moving offices. That's a little household item as well. We're going to be setting up a new studio here in Atlanta, which is really, really exciting and something that we are definitely looking forward to here on the team side. All right, let's take a look. Denise was the third like. Hey, that's a real OG, original gangster there. Thank you very much for the likes, you guys. Helps to support the stream. Let's go ahead and jump into some markets. Let's talk about what's going on here. I do actually want to start with the S&P 500 here just for a moment to get some context. This is a daily chart, you guys, and what you can see here is that we were chugging along. Things were going swimmingly and everything was pretty and delightful and wonderful. And then all of a sudden, this new concern around the new variant came out, and you can see how quickly markets react. If we take this into perspective for a second, you guys, from right here, right? This is 1, 2, 3, 4 days, let's say. In 4 days of price action here on the S&P 500, it essentially erased, let's see how many days. It erased all the way from here to here's gains, which is, okay, so in 4 days of price action, guys, we wiped out 37 days of gains. And this is the nature of the stock market, but also in the currency market as well. And I'm going to talk about something that's really, really important here for a second. When you look at markets, right? Markets tend to, on a global scale, they tend to rise slowly and fall quickly. And they tend to rise more over time than they do fall. But the point is, right? They rise slowly and then they drop quickly, and then they rise slowly and they drop quickly. It's not every time that happens. Sometimes in a very bad recession, you get a drop quickly and then you get a slow fall. That's like the most painful bleed out ever, right? We saw that in 2008. And fortunately, truthfully, I've never had to experience that in markets in my time of trading. And when that comes, I know it's going to come. I don't want it to come because it will be ugly and awful. But when it comes, there's some serious adaptation that will be required. I thought you were a programmer. I'm a little bit out of practice, to be honest with you, but we'll get into it at some point. Just not today. So S&P 500, big sell-off, right? 4 days wiping out over a month of gains. That's huge. That's a huge, huge dip. Now, it doesn't mean, though, that it can't keep going. And honestly, we've actually come into contact with a pretty significant level. Now, why does this matter to currencies? Stay tuned. We'll get there. We're going to talk about currencies in reference to the SPY in just a moment. But I want to point this out. We rejected this level pretty hard. You can see we had a key level of support of structure, and price bounced, came underneath it, right? Broke underneath it, closed underneath it, even retested today. This, to me, from a price action standpoint, looks bearish. It looks like it's headed down more. And that's not me wanting that to happen, because trust me, it makes my stock account look really ugly. It starts looking all sorts of red. And I don't like that. But again, when we're looking at markets, it's not always about what you like and what you want. It's about what's happening. And I think right now that as we reject that level again, I do think that now we are sitting at a point where the market looks short-term bearish. It looks like it has more downwards pressure, given that we have broken through and rejected this very same level. Now, markets do some weird things right now, all the time. They could do some weird things tomorrow, right? They could come way back up. So I'm not saying it's impossible for that to happen, but I do think that the likely scenario is that short term, we see some ugly downside, especially as the stock market is coming open. We'll see how the market reacts. But again, there's no guarantee. The markets can be very, very crazy, but I do think price action wise, that rejection looks ugly. It looks a little bit nerve wracking for possible sellers who want to come in and sell this market. This thing has been up, up, up. And so perhaps we do see a little bit more of a retracement coming in here than what we have seen so far. That's just my personal take. Now, how does that impact the currency market? Nick, I don't trade S&P 500. What does this matter to me? Everything. It matters everything, because if the stock market's coming down, you guys, what that's telling us is that when you get this big sell-off, that's telling us what? It's telling us, some of you guys in the back, I know I can hear you throwing your popcorn and saying it's risk off, right? Risk off sentiment coming into the markets. But Nick, how does that matter to my currency trades? Again, I'm going to show you risk off, right? When risk off sentiment comes into play, what that means is that investors on a broad scale, not just in the S&P 500, but in the currency market, the bond market, the gold market, the oil market, they are moving away from risky things and they're moving into safer things. What are safer things? Well, they're not stocks, right? Stocks are considered risk on. So people are selling their stocks. That's a clue, right? It's a clue that people are selling their stocks and they're focusing on buying risk off instruments. What are a couple risk off instruments? Can anybody list some in the chat for me? Let's see if we can get some contributions from the live stream chat. By the way, if you're watching this back at a later time, hello YouTube, thank you for being here. If you're watching this at a later time and you'd like to watch with us live, we go live Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. US Eastern. You can just convert that to your own time if you're not here in the US, and just check it out and come join us live, be a part of the stream. Okay, so a couple people contributing. Gold, yes, indeed. Thank you, Krishna. We got yen. Yep, Charles says yen as well. USD is a safe haven. Gold, silver, CHF, yen. Look at that. You guys are hitting it on the head. There it is. Okay, gold and yen. JPY, CHF, euro. There's some currencies for you, right? Okay, thank you guys. Those are some great additions. You guys are on it today, so thank you very much for that. So we've got CHF, right? You've got things like JPY. You've got things like gold, right? You've got things like euro. And I feel like that's, and you could lightly say USD, okay? And I'm going to talk about that in a second because this is important stuff, you guys. We'll talk about this in just a moment. Victor, thank you very much for the 17 DKK. I believe that is Danish krone. Thank you so much, Victor. Says, do you know the offshore broker Tradiso, Nick? Yes, I actually did a video on them, Victor. You can check it out. Just look up, Victor. Just go to YouTube and type Trader Nick Tradiso, and you should find the video that I did on them, and you can check it out. Of course, with all brokers, please do your due diligence. Go do your homework about them. I'm not like in the back seat of their broker, and I can't tell you everything that's going on with any broker. So I would just encourage you to go do your research on anybody that you choose to work with. Doesn't matter who it is, all brokers, even regulated ones. You should go look at reviews. You should look at what people are saying about them and experiences with them. So yeah, go check them out. Okay, so we've made a good list here. Thank you guys for your list contributions. You guys are awesome. So we have things like CHF, JPY, gold, euro, and USD. These are things that are considered risk off. Risk off meaning that when stocks are selling, when markets are fearful, people are buying these instead. They're moving their money out of things like stocks and Aussies and GBP and things like that. And they're moving into those safer currencies. They're buying cash, or they're holding their cash, right? And they're buying things like gold. So now, with all of that said, that is why people who are trading the currency market should keep an eye on things like the stock market. Because if this thing comes down, these things are likely to strengthen. So if you think that this thing is going to continue to come down, which I think short term it may, right? If you think that that's going to happen, then these candidates are looking a little bit more attractive in my mind. I put out a video a couple of days ago about how I am basically short term, at least, bullish on this list here. I'm not, if anything, I like these three the best personally, but those are just a couple of my takes, a couple of my opinions on things to be buying. Now, that is why recently I took a buy on dollar against the Canadian dollar, which went well. We made some money on that. And I've been looking at a possible gold long. So in this video, in the stream, what we'll do is we'll keep going. We'll go along and we'll talk about some of these individual risk off things. But let me just show you guys this. So now that we've broken all that down, I hope that was helpful to you. Let's go look at something, for example, like dollar yen. Now, dollar yen is a pretty good example. Actually, you know what we could do even better, you guys? Let's look at pound yen. We'll start with pound yen here today. So this is a daily chart. Let's actually look at the 4-hour chart here for a moment, and let's analyze what's been going on. So again, remember what we just said. Market participants right now are generally unsure. They are scared. They are nervous, and they are saying, this variant looks like it could be something that stops markets in their tracks for a little bit. Let's look at pound yen. Pound yen, what's it doing? It's trading lower as investors are fearful. They are selling that pound and they're putting their money into the yen, right? Remember, whenever we look at a currency pair, let me not put it up there. We got the sponsorship up there. GBP JPY. So GBP JPY, when we look at this in reference to what's going on, again, we just looked at stocks, we just looked at what's going on in global markets, and now we can analyze exactly why this is happening to pound yen. Why is it trading lower? Well, again, we've got pound being sold, yen being bought. Why? Because yen is that risk safe haven and pounds are a little bit more risky. So that's why we see the market headed lower on pound yen. So our bias, generally speaking, or at least my bias, would be short term down. Short term pound yen, more downside to come. So how do we trade it? That's building a bias, right? So the first part of my trading style, the first thing I'm doing is building a bias. How do I build a bias? Fundamentally, I'm not just looking at the chart to make all my trading decisions. I look at also what's going on in the real world and what's actually driving the currency market one way or the other, which right now, like I said, is that story around the new variant. So now looking at this, we've got a downward structure here on the 4-hour chart. I'm looking for opportunities personally for selling ideas on things like pound yen. Maybe we get a retracement up to a level like this. That's a pretty deep retracement, but it is very, very possible that we see a pop to the upside, and in which case maybe we see opportunities for sell side pressure, right? So that's kind of lining things up. Now, if you're shorter term than that, there may be opportunities to look for shorter term sells. Maybe you're bearish enough to look at jump downing at the 1-hour chart and you say, okay, well, if I'm looking at pound yen with a sell bias, look at this. We might have missed the train, you guys. We might have missed that move right there at the 61.8. Beautiful little sell there. Price came up to resistance and sure enough, just poked it just long enough for sellers to hop in there. So might have missed the boat by a little bit here, but it doesn't mean we can't find another setup going forward. So again, if price does retest, you've got some levels to think about. You've got some ideas here that look pretty attractive in my view. You've got retest structure up here at 151.6, 151.4. Those levels look pretty reasonable. And if you're really, really aggressive, maybe you're looking at that 150.8 and you're saying, if it just taps that again, I'm going to look to sell that in favor of the downside. So again, building a bias, my opinion here is to the downside for now, right? That could change depending on what comes out. This is what we do on the YouTube channel. Every day I'm doing Forex news coverage and talking about ideas and things like that. I put in I should do the Rock's new song. How does that thing go? Oh man, I can't remember the lyrics, but can somebody quote the lyrics? I'll give you a little rap if someone quotes the new rock song. It's like God dang it, I can't forget. I forgot the lyrics completely. Under pressure. You know what's crazy, guys, is when you're on camera, I swear two things go absolutely terribly. Math goes wrong for me. I can't do basic math on camera, and I can't remember lyrics. It's about grind. It's about power. Yeah, that song. I mean, so the first thing I do, right, is I look for a bias. So I'm looking for fundamentally which direction things are going to go, at least most likely based on the news, based on things that are happening in the real world, driving forces, external forces that are impacting the currency market, right? We stay hungry, we devour. Gosh, my girlfriend made fun of me, or I guess now fiance. You guys saw the video, or some of you guys may have seen the video. My fiance, she made fun of me so bad because she was like, I can totally see you doing this, like working out at the gym, listening to this song. And I was like, you are so, I don't know. She teased me so bad about that. And I was like, I don't even listen to the song. I mean, like, it's kind of a vibe, not gonna lie. I like the song. But people like turned it into a complete meme. And I don't know, she was making fun of me saying like I would be the kind of guy to just listen to that song and like casually think it's like really cool. I think it is cool. So maybe she's right. Maybe she's just teasing me. But so back to the focus. Sorry about that. The basic idea is like the first thing I do is I build a directional bias using like fundamentals. And then technically I'll jump in there and I'll look for setups. So, I try and add that into my analysis with every trade that I take. So right now the pressure here seems to be the downside. We kind of see that reflecting in the technical analysis. You can see all these rallies are basically getting sold into as there is some heavy-handed sellers here looking probably the same way that we're talking about, right? Fundamentally very bearish. And I want to show you guys something. If we look over on the website really quick for a second, let's go over to retail sentiment. I had this pulled up. Let's see if we can get a fresh take on everything. And we'll go find pound yen here. Remember, this is our website, you guys. We put a lot of work into this site, so please use it. It's here for you. It's completely free. Just head over to a1trading.com. You can see it over here in the bottom left, thanks to our producer putting it up there. And apparently I'm blind as well when where's pound yen? There it is. Yeah. So pound yen, 36% of traders are short, but a whopping 63% of retail traders are long on the pound yen. So how do we take that into account? Well, if we know that most retail traders are looking at this thing with a bullish perspective, right? They're seeing this market and retail traders are saying, let's buy this, right? Let's buy, let's buy, let's buy, let's buy, let's buy, right? It's been ugly for them. And I think that for now, the pressure is going to remain to the downside until further notice. If things change, then of course, we'll try and adapt. We stay hungry, we devour kind of stuff. But the main idea here is that as long as this thing is trending to the downside, I'm looking for sells. I'm looking for opportunities to get involved with the minimal risk to reward. Now, let's talk about another currency pair because we've on pound yen for a while. Like I said, I do like ideas of selling at resistance. If a trade sets up, I may be looking at it if we get a little bit of a boost. Right now, we're selling off, so it seems like it's a little out of the way. Let's go take a look at gold here for a second. XAU, USD. Where's my gold gang in the chat? Drop a comment. If you trade gold, just drop a little, let me see if I can hashtag gold gang in the chat. If you're watching gold, if you're trading it, drop it there for us. Let's see what's going on. We'll start fresh even to try and get an idea of what is going on. Now, why is gold selling off? Why is gold selling off? Honestly, it's kind of confusing to me, to be completely honest. I'm hoping somebody will save me and tell me what's happening. But there it is, the hashtag gold gangs in the chat. I will say this. Gold is a bit confusing to me because it's selling off, even though we talked about it being risk off, right? But, we could look at some other things. Let me just try something really quick. What if I did XAU CAD? I could take a look and you could kind of see it's still kind of being sold. Hold on. I'm just experimenting for a second, you guys. Give me a second. XAU GBP. Nope. XAU AUD. A little bit better. Okay. Back to the main one. XAU USD. I bet you didn't know. Some of you guys didn't know you could do that. You could actually trade gold against other individual currencies, which is kind of crazy, kind of fun. But the point of me doing that is I just wanted to see how gold was doing across the board relative to some of the other currencies as well. There it is. All you gold gang, crazy people in the chat. Thanks for being here. Gold is selling off because it's shaking off the fleas. Maybe that is what it's doing. But here's the idea that I have. So gold is selling off a little bit because there's a general, the weird thing about gold, and I've explained this a couple times, it actually kind of acts like, this is so confusing to me to say, but it's just what we see. Back in March, gold performed like a risk on asset, short term. You can see here is the March correction of 2020. It was not actually that bad for gold compared to the stock market, which went way down off the screen. The gold market sold off, but it came roaring back. So initially it acted like a risk on asset, or not even risk on. It's just more that when markets get fearful, what seems to happen across the board is just a move back into cash first, right? Everyone just wants to like sell all their stuff, get it out of the markets, and then reevaluate. What's interesting though is that, and this is why I kind of have a bullish perspective on gold right now, is that gold is still risk off and investors will probably want to put their money somewhere. So you may have an initial move out of the markets across the scale, but if things are continuing to be a little nerve-wracking and investors do still want to find a place to park their money, gold, I think, still has potential to rise, especially when right now the dollar and a couple other markets just look a little bit like they are headed for a little bit of more of a retracement. So with that said, we're looking at gold. We're saying, okay, well, we've had this little run. it does seem like it's kind of at the bottom of this range, right? This is what I just drew here was a regression trend. You can do it on TradingView. It's very, very simple. All it's doing is it's taken an upper deviation of 2, a lower deviation of 2, and that's how it's giving you this, this kind of channel. And it draws like a line of best fit across a trend, right? Or a period of time that you give it. And then it draws these levels. And what you can see is that price is tagging sort of an oversold status on this market, which kind of lines up nicely with some supportive structure. So we could, of course, mark out this area here where we have at least found demand the last few times. And maybe, just maybe, there is some opportunity for some discounted gold buys in these regions. Now, please remember, when I say that stuff on YouTube, I am not here to tell you. I'm not your advisor. I'm not your mentor. I'm not your educator. I'm just a guy who trades and shares content on YouTube. Go make your own trading decisions. I don't claim to know exactly what's going to happen in the markets because I don't think anybody truly knows with any certainty. I think it's all about educated guesses, probabilities, and risk management. That's how I personally make money in the markets. And I would encourage everyone else to think about those things as well. So when we look at gold, right, big sell-off, big retracement back down to 1775, 1770 range. I think it's a possible buy. I think that there may be an upswing coming for gold. We've seen a couple attempts, though, to be completely fair to the sellers. These attempts have been pretty feuded, right? We've seen little jumps and then absolute sell-offs come into them. So I would like to see personally a little bit of a break before I'm super interested in taking positions on gold aggressively. So for example, even on the 4-hour chart, you've got like a level like this. I'd like to see things really break. I'd like to see some form of revival, right? Some strength come into gold before I just go jumping into it. Because again, this thing could kind of slow bleed lower for a long time. But I really like to see momentum shift into gold before I try and jump into a position myself. That's just how I trade. I am a momentum / trend trader. So I'm looking for opportunities where the markets are moving in my direction. And then I'm looking to join with good risk management and a discounted price. That's the kind of style that I like to trade. Of course, everyone has their own style. So to be completely fair, I think that this level is a pretty big level of support. So if you are looking to pick up some gold, keep tabs on this level. Maybe we see it hold and retrace or bounce off of that level more likely. So we'll see. We'll see how that plays out. Gold to me, like I said, I think it is risk off, or it is a risk off asset, historically speaking. And so I do think that with everything going on, if the Fed sort of steps back on any of their monetary policy stuff, that could be really positive for gold, right? You got to put yourself in the perspective of a common US dollar investor, or, you got to think about, okay, well, if they are thinking about the dollar and they're saying, well, the Fed is very hawkish, right? And I've been a dollar bull for a long time now, so I'm saying this just from experience. All that stuff sounds really good. If the Fed pulls back on that concept of tightening, monetary policy tightening in the form of tapering, reducing stimulus, right? Or talking about rate hikes, if any of that sort of starts to sound dovish or uncertain from the Fed, that could be a huge upswing catalyst for gold, right? Because a lot of times gold and the dollar, they tend to battle it out one against the other. So yeah, from a fundamental perspective, that would be the kind of thing that could cause a big spike or run up on the gold market. So I'll be watching out for that. Do we have any news from the Fed today? Let me see. Let me get my filters going. Apply filter. So, of course, we have NFP tomorrow, which is kind of a big one. And then today, OPEC, JMMC meetings. Okay, so nothing massive for the dollar, at least right now. But tomorrow we do have that big stream. So I do want to say, by the way, you guys, we're going to be doing a big stream tomorrow. We've got usually the streams for NFP are pretty fun. They get pretty busy. So I do want to say this. If you're not already, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and hit the notification bell, because the stream tomorrow is going to be crazy. We're going to watch the spike together live, and that should be really, really fun. So definitely make sure to swing by. The best way you can make sure that you are able to get there is to hit the notification bell next to the subscribe button. That way, when we start to stream, it'll pop up on your phone if you have all the settings set up, and that way you can join us live. Or you can head here 1 hour earlier than usual, which is 8 a.m. US Eastern so that we can watch that stream or watch that spike together on stream. So that's going to wrap it up for me today, you guys. Thank you very much for being here. I hope that you have a great rest of your day. We've got a lot more markets to cover, and we'll be doing more on the channel, of course, as we always do. So stay tuned. We got some more stuff coming for you. Thank you, guys. Have a great rest of your day, and we will see you back next time. What's up, you guys? Thank you so much for making it to the end of today's stream. It really does go way more than you know towards supporting this content and our team here behind the scenes that makes all of this content possible. Before you go, I want to invite you to join our free Telegram and our free Discord, which will both be linked down below in the description. We share trading ideas, we share tips and tricks, broker recommendations, things that may be helpful to you in your trading career. And again, it's completely free, so down below in the description, click those links, join us there, and we'll see you in the next stream.